Hi, my name is Sesilie Marquez. I am with PeopleFund. So we are a nonprofit organization. We provide two services. So we provide the lending piece, loans ranging from 1,000 to 350,000 typically. And then we have our business advising piece as well. So that part is free. If you need help with your business plan or your financials, don't hesitate to reach out. We also have education Thursday workshops, and those are webinars. Okay, so let's see here. A lot of the times people don't know where to start when looking for funding options. They automatically think of those larger financial institutions. So with PeopleFund, we are what we call a CDFI. So that is a community development financial institution. And so what those do really is just trying to bridge that gap between traditional lending and the payday advance loans, giving people who are financially underserved more resources. So we have a list of questions. I'm going to go ahead and give the panelists an opportunity to introduce themselves and then just let us know a little bit about their organization. Do you want to start, Sam?
Yeah. Sam Morgan, Senior Advisor with the UTSA SBDC. I also run the veteran program for our center. Been around about 7.5 years now.
Janell Davila with Woodforest National Bank. I'm the Community Development Relationship Manager for San Antonio and Austin. Woodforest National Bank, we're in 17 states. We have over 770 locations. We have small business products, consumer products. We're a full service bank, and you can find most of our locations inside Walmart.
Patrick Alcorn. I'm a founder of the annual Business Beyond the Battlefield Conference and Senior Director for the Veterans Business Outreach Center at the University of Texas at Arlington, responsible for educating, training, and inspiring military-connected entrepreneurs in North Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Nevada.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So the first question is going to be for all the panelists, so we get to start again with Sam. So I guess what piece of advice would you give if someone is in the very beginning stages of starting their business or at the very beginning stages of needing funding?
So starting a business is like buying a house. You know, don't load up your credit cards. Check your credit score. Check your credit files to make sure they're yours. Make sure your DTI is not through the roof, right? Because I'm sure lenders will tell you if you've got a great credit score and a high DTI, it's still a red flag. And so if you're purchasing things for a business to start ahead of starting the business and trying to get funding, that might be a bit of a hurdle to get over, but you got to bring that DTI down, because credit cards are one of the first things that's going to shoot them through the roof. But some veterans don't know that there are veteran organizations nationally, locally, statewide that can help with your funding. It's not easy, but they're out there. I give a class at the SBDC for veteran resources, and one of the things I do is I put together a PowerPoint. And some of those organizations I add to that PowerPoint. So you gotta do the road work, gotta do the leg work, gotta get on the road and talk to these people. But there are some other sources like PeopleFund, LiftFund. I think are the only two that I know that have a dedicated veteran program for funding. And so I always tell my clients, starting a business, trying to get funding, shop. Don't take the first thing that comes along. Shop around. Everybody has a little bit different way they do things. PeopleFund may not be for you. Maybe Woodforest may be the one you need. I don't know, but what we do is we'll help put together that business plan, those projections, and we can help tweak that for whatever you're trying to do. But certainly there are other resources out there for them.
I would say Woodforest definitely the answer. No, I'm just kidding. What I would say, and when I'm talking to my small business customers, entrepreneurs, is definitely start with the business plan. Any type of lender or funder wants to see what your plan is, what you're going to do, what your timeline looks like. So that's super, super important. Build your relationship with a banker. That's going to be important as well. That's going to help develop trust. And bankers can give you advice on what to look at as far as your financial statements. A lot of people going into business don't have their tax documents that they need, their financials to even apply for a loan. So definitely looking at that. A lot what Sam said is correct. Your debt to income ratio. When you're going into business and applying for a loan, whether it be with a financial institution or a CDFI like PeopleFund or LiftFund, they're going to look to see, what kind of debt you have, what income you have coming in, looking at your credit score and things like that. So, and if you don't know how to build a business plan, there's a lot of small business organizations around Texas and San Antonio especially that can help you create a strong business plan to get you started.
I would add on the front end of that is start with an assessment of both yourself and your business, both your personal finances and your business finances, to make sure that you're lender ready. Before you start looking for money, make sure you actually need the money. And then also make sure that you know exactly how much you need, not a range, not an about, not an approximation or anything of that nature. An exact number in terms of what it is that you need, what it is that you need it for. It's critical to make sure that as you're putting together your business plan and before you start shopping lenders and all that stuff, that you've done everything that you can to build your business on cash flow, right? Getting money from your customers first. And if you can no longer get money from your customers, you've done everything that you can to bootstrap. You've taken money out of your own pocket and family and friends and all the other resources that are available before you start looking for outside sources of money. But when you start looking for outside sources of money, there's three things you want to make sure you do. And the first one is have a very specific amount of money that you need. Know exactly what that number is and exactly what you're going to use it for, and they need to match. So if you're asking for $347,833.17, your use of funds needs to add up to $347,833.17. It needs to match, and so forth. And then figure out the type of funding that you need, because everything's not a loan. Maybe you need a line of credit. Maybe you can use a credit card. Maybe you can use something else. So step two is figure out what type of funding do you need. It may not be a loan. It may be some other form of capital that you need. It might be an investor, so on and so forth. And then finally, develop a strategy for how you're going to go after this money. And that strategy is where you begin to pull together the business plan, start the shopping and everything of that nature. But step one, how much do you need? What do you need it for? Step two, what type of funding do you need? And then step three, what's your strategy for going after this money?
Thank you. I would also say just do your research, pull your credit, ask the lender if they go off of all three bureaus or which bureau they go off of, just so that you can go prepared to that appointment. You know already what kind of questions they're going to ask you. Another thing is like you just said, Google things, provide screenshots, invoices, anything to help support those amounts that you're requesting. Okay, so let's see. Sam, can you outline some of the resources available through the SBDC?
Yeah, so the SBDC, Small Business Development Center at UTSA, we're a grant-funded program. We get most of our funding through the SBA, some through the state. Our services are free. We're part of the Institute of Economic Development on the downtown campus. We have 12 offices, and our network has 12 offices. So we have 12 offices at the IED for different resources like Center for Government Contracting, Apex, what else? Importing, exporting, there's just a bunch of stuff, right? So our network actually reaches out from El Paso to Corpus Christi. We cover Bexar County and the 10 surrounding counties, like New Braunfels. I go out to New Braunfels, Hondo, Castroville all the time. We're the people you come to first. We're not specialists. We're generalists. If you need a business plan, we'll help you put together a business plan. Everything, once you become a client of the SBDC, which is also free, you're always a client of the SBDC. So we get your business going today. You don't need our help for 5-6 years. You come back, we're still there. Our program's been around for almost 40 years. We have a lot of good people in our office. Our SBDC is always in the top 5 nationally. So if you need help, especially I'm retired military, retired Army, I'll talk to anybody. I'll even talk to Marines. So y'all can come out. My son-in-law is in the Air Force, so I have a place in my heart for Air Force. But you guys can contact us. We can do in-person. We can do Zoom. We can do phone calls. We do things like this all the time. We give 200 to 250 webinars or trainings a year. Almost every one of them are free. But because we're doing webinars, you can jump on our website and figure out maybe somebody down in Corpus Christi is giving a class. It's a webinar, it's free. So just jump on that and get the information you need. We do stuff like social media, how to set up a website, how to use Google Ads. I need help with marketing. I need help with taxes. All those are on there. We give QuickBooks classes, are taught by CPAs. Now that one you got to pay for it, so you got to pay the CPA. But we have professionals that come in and teach us. We're not just reading off notes or books. We don't do it. We have professionals come in. One of the legal professionals we have is also a retired Army. She volunteers her time. She teaches, 5-6 classes a month for us over different things. She's also a tax attorney, so she kind of delves into that a little bit too. But there's all kinds of information out there that you don't know what you don't know, right? So y'all come to the SBDC, and we'll try to figure out what you don't know. And I'm a retired first sergeant, right? And I always told my troops, I don't know everything, but I know where to find it. Okay? That's my job. I got to point you in the right direction and make you the future leader. So I got to make you the future business owner, leader within your communities. That's what we do. So come on out. We're a good bunch of people, most of us anyway.
Thank you, Sam. And then how would they just go on your website to set an appointment? What does that look like?
Yeah, you can call our number. Our office number is 210-458-2460. That's the main number. That'll get you to our admin team. They'll hook you up with an advisor. You can contact me. I got business cards in my pocket if y'all interested. Or you can go to our website. So you can actually get on our website and do the client intake form, because we have to follow federal guidelines, which means you got to do the client intake form. But it takes like 5 minutes. You do it online, and then that'll put you in the system, and then the admin team will pick that up and assign you to an advisor. Pretty easy.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then Patrick, so since your organization is tailored to veterans and that's much of our audience today, what are some of the unique funding opportunities for military-connected entrepreneurs?
So when it comes to unique funding opportunities, the veterans fit into that class of individuals known as the underserved community. And the U.S. Small Business Administration has multiple programs to provide access or to ease the access to capital for what's known as underserved communities. That includes your African Americans, your Hispanic Americans, your Asian Americans, your women, veterans. They're all in that same class known as the underserved community. So one of the products that's available through our SBA Lending Partner Network is the Community Advantage loan. It's up to about $350,000, and it's distributed primarily through the CDCs and CDFIs. And there's some other organizations, banks, that have access to that product as well. But in terms of unique products that are available out there, many of your CDCs, community development corporations, and your CDFIs, community development financial institutions, they have special programs inside of their organization. So Lift Fund, which is here with us today, one of the CDCs or CDFIs, they have a program. We have a lot of veterans in the community that are looking to do real estate investing. And SBA does not provide access to capital for real estate investing. But Lift Fund actually has a program for veterans in the underserved community who's looking for capital for real estate investing and so forth. And so that's a lender that you can go to for that specific product and for that particular type of access to capital. All of the lenders provide what's called the 7A loans, which are loans up to about $5 million with terms all the way out to about 25 years. All of the lenders provide, or most of the lenders provide what's called 504 loans. Those are loans for long-term assets. So if you're purchasing real estate to be used in the business, not real estate as an investment, but real estate to be used. Say, for example, you make widgets and you need a building to make your widgets out of. That's a long-term asset that you need, that building. Or maybe you have machinery and equipment. That's a long-term asset. Those are 504 loans. So those are the primary types of products that are available. When it comes to the veteran environment, one of the things that I want to point out is that there's a ecosystem that already exists that's very eager to help veterans start, grow, and expand their businesses. And inside of that ecosystem, there are multiple opportunities for small business grants. We run a conference every year in October, the Business Beyond the Battlefield Conference. We had a pitch competition at that particular event that just happened October 4th through 6th. And we gave away a little more than $40,000 in grants and so forth. And one of our grant recipients is here in the room, as a matter of fact, and so forth. And so there's Samuel Adams makes beer. Every year, Samuel Adams has a $100,000 pitch competition just for veterans. Just for veterans. It's a $100,000 pitch competition for veteran and military spouses, I should say, military-connected entrepreneurs. But for veterans and military spouses who have businesses that are in the beverage industry. So if you're in the beverage industry, there's an opportunity for you to enter into a pitch competition. We've got a pitch competition that's going on right now in Las Vegas. It's for another $50,000. It's just for veterans, and it's happening right now today in Las Vegas. And it's a national competition, just like ours was in October, so forth. So when it comes to veteran access to capital, unique opportunities, I would say connect with your Veterans Business Outreach Center and any of your other veteran-specific resource partners so that they can connect you to what's happening at that time. I'm actually supposed to be on a call right now that I'm missing. Stephen F. Tadlock, Foundation CDC, or Foundation First CDC, just had a $25,000 pitch competition, and they're announcing the winners right now. They should be announcing them in the next 3 minutes, as a matter of fact. They're announcing the $25,000 winners right now. So those are always happening. Access to capital is always happening, but connect with your veteran-specific resource partner to learn about veteran-specific access to capital opportunities.
Thank you, Patrick. And so, Janell, you are with Woodforest. What are some of the most common products that your organization offers, specifically for business owners and veterans?
So we service a lot of customers in our 17-state footprint. And so we try to really be innovative with the type of products that we offer to all of our business customers. So we have business products, regular business products that that have no to low fees as far as service charges and things like that. And then we also offer second chance checking business accounts. So what we found is a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners have unpaid closures with other banks, so they weren't able to open up a business account really anywhere. So we offer second chance business accounts for our business customers. It does have a small fee, but you're able to do your banking because that's necessary for your finances and ensuring that you separate your personal from your business. We also offer a whole different array of loans for our small business customers. We have a specific product. What we found is a lot of entrepreneurs needed a small dollar loan that a lot of financial institutions do not offer. So we have an unsecured line of credit that starts off at $500, goes up to $10,000. It doesn't have a requirement of you have to be in business for 2 years or anything like that. You can be a startup. Obviously, it does look at your credit, debt to income ratio and things like that. But you can get an unsecured small dollar loan from us, with just starting up your business, which is something that can be very, very helpful. So those are the different products that we offer. We also pride ourselves in helping to connect our small business customers to different sources like PeopleFund, like Lyft Fund. So if it's something that we can't do, because we can't do it all, we know, we have those connections that we can make. Also, we invest in companies, our CDFIs like PeopleFund and Lyft Fund, to ensure that they have the capital to lend out to small business customers if we can. So those are the things that we offer.
Thank you. And then is there a requirement as far as operations, years of operations? Like, is it less than 2 years, over 2 years?
Well, we have different type of loans. For the unsecured small dollar loan, no, there's no minimum. For the larger loans, where if you're looking for a large working capital or for construction or anything like that, yes, it has to be 2 years. But we do offer that loan where you don't have to be in business for 2 years.
Awesome. Good to know. Thank you. And so this question is going to be for all the panelists, and we'll start with Sam. So what are the most frequent challenges that you've seen when trying to access capital?
Most of the time I see people have stuff in their credit that either they're unaware of or they are aware of and just decided not to take care of. Credit report is extremely important. DTI is extremely important. That's why I always recommend get your credit report, make sure everything on there is yours, make sure it's correct. And if it's not, you have that opportunity to do that. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to save you the heartache of going to like Woodforest and they say, well, you got this, this, and this on your credit. We can't extend credit to you. Yeah, I know, but it's too late. You're already walking out the door. Now you got to start over, right? So just get that stuff fixed before that happens. The other thing I see a lot of, especially with business owners, I wouldn't say a lot of, but I have seen a few times. They're not doing their taxes right. If you are a legal entity in the state of Texas, for instance, right, you have to separate your business taxes and your personal taxes. You cannot combine them. That's illegal. I've seen that, and so it takes time to get that stuff untangled. Folks like Woodforest, they're going to be like, we're not touching that. So don't do that. I don't know why people. I do know why people do that, but you shouldn't. It's illegal, and it just makes problems for you later on. So those are probably the two most I see.
Yeah, I would agree with Sam. When we have customers come up and they get declined for a loan, and then we try to figure out why they got declined so that we can help them. It is really their credit. A lot of times people think that they've been running their business through their personal accounts. So they're like, yeah, look at my cash flow coming through, but it's not a business account, right? And then their taxes are not separated as well. So it's hard to distinguish between what your business is bringing in and what your personal account is bringing in. And so I would say definitely, look at your credit score. And another misconception is, well, I've been in business, I have business credit versus personal credit, which I think someone had asked that before. And starting up as a small business or entrepreneur, what lenders are going to look at really is your personal credit, like where you're at with that. Now, once you've been in business for a while and you have your financial statements in order, lenders can now look at your cash flow coming through, what your business is making, what your expenses are, and things like that. And then that's when they'll take into account, okay, what your business is doing, and if you're bringing in enough cash in order to get a loan. So that's, I think those are the top two things. I really don't know anything else or another one.
I would add to that. Let me just back up real quickly and say, on the tax situation, it depends upon what your legal entity is. So think about that with your tax advisor and your accountant. Because if you're a sole proprietor or if you're an LLC filing as a single member, your taxes are all on one sheet, right? The business taxes are included in your personal taxes. But what he's really talking about is the documentation of your business books versus your personal books, not so much the tax statement itself. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a sole proprietor or an LLC filing as a single member LLC, that is one tax document and so forth. But the biggest challenge that we see out there is not understanding the capital landscape. What happened is you likely went to the wrong lender, or you likely went to the wrong source of capital. There are certain lenders, every lender has a book of business. And the thing that you got to think about is in this book of business, if I'm a lender and I've got 20 barbershops in my book of business and COVID-19 comes along, and 18 of my barbershops shut down, and now you want to open a barbershop, how do you think I feel about lending money to barbershops? So you probably don't want to go to me. But if you went to the SBDC maintains relationships with these lenders. So they can let you know, don't go to lender A, go to lender C, because lender C has gotten 4 barbershops in their book of business, and all of those barbershops are doing really, really well. So they know that lender C still has an affinity for barbershops. So understanding the lending landscape, and you get that based upon your relationship with the SBDC, because they maintain those relationships and they know what the lender's business plan is. You're walking into the lender with a business plan that's 30, 40, 50 pages long. Nobody's reading that. If you went to the SBDC could tell you that lender B only wants page 1, 3, 11, and 15 of your business plan. And now you walk in there with the right financial package instead of the wrong financial package that nobody's going to read, and now you're frustrated. So understand the lending landscape, who you're going to, who they normally lend to, what type of loans they typically do. And then the last point I'll add to it is this, is don't wait until you need money to look for money. You, as a business owner, you should have a strategy. You should have a plan where you're looking far enough into the future with your projections, your financial statements that says, if I don't get money by this time right here, that next 6 months way down there down the line, or that next year, 18 months down the line, my cash flow is going to be in a bad situation, right? There's a course that you can take called Profit Mastery. I'm a certified Profit Mastery facilitator, but there's a course that you can take. It's available online, and it'll help you to be able to put together a plan where you can look 12, 18, 24 months out and know ahead of time, hey, month number 22, my cash flow is going to be really, really tight. If I don't get a loan today, when I get to month 22, I'm going to be in trouble. So don't wait until month 20 and say I need money in the next 60 days. So prepare and have a strategy for going after capital and not waiting until the last minute to go after capital.
For sure, thank you so much. And I also think keeping your personal expenses and your business expenses separate with those accounts too, because then if you start to mix things up, it tends to get difficult to refinance those things. So that's also important. Now, aside from loans, are there any other common sources of funding that you guys see? And this is just open to whoever wants to answer it.
So I already mentioned, besides loans, there's obviously grants, and they're few and far between. You got to remember this, that in general, public grants are public dollars, meaning they're taxpayer dollars. And I'm not paying my taxes so you can make a profit, right? So keep that in mind. But if you think about this, if you are solving a problem that a public entity has, there's money available. There's the program called SBIR, the Small Business Innovation Research. That's a federally funded grant program, and every government agency has some form of an SBIR funding that's available for you right now. If you're in Tarrant County, North Texas, which is Fort Worth and in and around that area right there, they have a program right now for folks who are involved in any types of innovative businesses where they can get up to $75,000 in grant money to do innovative activities and innovative ideals. And one of those recipients is in the room right now as well, and so forth. I've got another client, another recipient that's in line to get $1 million in grant because of where her innovation is and where her program is. So there are grant dollars available through federal agencies if your business is involved in research or innovation or something of that nature. And don't think that research means it has to be technical, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be technical. It just has to be some innovative. Think about this. Uber may be technical, so that might not be the best example, but I'm going to use it anyway. Uber just came up with a different way to get us from point A to point B. That's all it was. They used technology to get us from point A to point B through this application. But that's an innovative ideal. It's more innovative than picking up the phone and calling a taxi or dispatcher. Maybe your business is doing something innovatively and it doesn't have to involve technology, but you're doing something different. That's access to those SBIR capital dollars that are out there. So grants is one thing, but don't forget about the investment community. Now, I understand investment is about you have to give up a piece of your company, but you get to decide what that term sheet looks like and how much of your company you're actually going to give up. The SBA actually has a branch or a department of division of the SBA, the Small Business Investment Company, where the SBA gives dollars to investment funds and investment managers to make it easier for them to invest in your business. So those dollars are available. That's SBIC. Those investment dollars are available because the federal government is giving investors money so that investors can invest in small business and so forth. So investments, grants, and then loans, obviously, are other forms of capital for you.
And just kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, grants. Again, there's a lot of small business organizations here in San Antonio specifically, like the Maestro Entrepreneurship Center, SAGE, Prosper West, that help small business entrepreneurs and that offer grants to small business owners in a variety of different industries. So, if you visit their websites or are involved in their cohorts, at the end, a lot of times they give those business owners grants. There's also angel investors here in San Antonio, and I can't remember the name of them. I think it's Angel Investor, I believe, that where you're able to go pitch, what you're doing, the work that you're doing, and see if you can get an investor to invest in your business. So those are the things that are available.
And I'll back up for a second because I'm looking at your exhibitors. You've got Goldman Sachs over here with the 10,000 Small Businesses program. If I remember, that's a 12-week training program. And after you come out of that 12-week training program, you have established a relationship with Goldman Sachs. Talk about access to capital, right? So you've established a relationship with Goldman Sachs, and typically the folks who come out of that program, they get access to lines of credits, they get access to loans, they get access to so many other things. So look at your financial institutions as well. We've got a financial institution in North Texas. The financial institution right now is doing a lender readiness program. It's a 4-week program, and veterans are in that cohort with that financial institution learning how to become lender ready. But guess what happens at the end of that 4-week program? They now have a relationship with that financial institution, and that financial institution is now more likely to give them capital. PeopleFund has their People Vet program. They do the exact same thing. As a cohort, you go into their training program called their People Vet program. You spend X amount of time with them learning how to be lender ready and how to be a better business owner. And at the end of that program, you have a relationship with PeopleFund, and now you've eased your access to capital through that financial institution. And most of your financial institutions do the same thing.
Thank you so much. So we can open it up now to Q&A for the panelists if you'd like.
Okay. In terms of opening up a business account, you should have one for taxes, operations, profit sharing, and savings. What's the ratio for each recommended one?
That's a great question. There's actually a book out there called Profit First, written by a guy by the name of Mike Michalowicz is his name, called Profit First. And he actually suggests that when you open up a business, you should actually open up 5 accounts. And I'm not going to name all 5 accounts. You got to read the book. But he says one of the accounts is a profit account. And his philosophy is that if you're thinking profit first, remember every business fits into what's called a North American Industry Classification System, a NAICS code. It's what the government uses to keep data on particular businesses in the industry. And the answer to your question is your NAICS code can tell you what those percentages are, because the NAICS code will divide it up and say if you're a business between 1 and 3 million, your percent of sales, your labor percentage should be this percent of your sales. Your cost of goods should be this percent of your sales, and it breaks it all down to you by percentages, just using the NAICS code and those industry statistics. The NAICS code, NAICS, North American Industry Classification System, is Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. His name looks like Michael Lowitz, but it's Michalowicz. Mike Michalowicz, called Profit First, and he's actually speaking at our conference in Las Vegas right now. But yeah, it's a great book. I'll give you 3 of the accounts. The first account is your profit account. You should automatically take your profits and set them to the side. So many business owners start their business and they don't pay themselves. That's a mistake. Pay yourself. And if your business still needs cash, then loan the money back to the business or invest the money back in the business. But don't start your business with a habit of not paying yourself. Start your business with the habit of actually paying yourself what it is you're supposed to be paid. And if you need to, take that money, write a check back to the business and loan it back to the business or invest it back in the business, but have the habit of taking your profit out first. The second account that I'll give you is the tax account. That's the obvious one, right? Worst case scenario, you should, as a business owner, you should be taking out that 15.3%. That's 7.65% that you have to pay as an employee that would normally come out of your paycheck, and 7.65% that you have to pay as an employer that the employer would normally pay. That's on your pay stub where it says FICA, Medicaid, all of that stuff. That's the 15.3% that every business owner, self-employment taxes, you guys should be setting that to the side. So that's account number 2. And account number 3 is your operating account. That's the money that you're doing. That's your working capital account. Money that you're paying your bills and expenses and everything else from your account. To get the other 2 accounts, read the book. I don't get any commissions. I just like to encourage people to learn on their own. That's all.
Hi, my name is Nika and I own Black Business San Antonio Incorporated. I tell you this because we are a platform for Black business owners to get education, opportunities, resources, and support. When it comes to access to capital, it's very difficult for Black business owners to get access to capital. The way I see it, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I work with a lot of folks and I've worked with the city. I work with PeopleFund. I worked with people to get the proper information to make sure they're doing their taxes right. In other words, I don't want any excuses. So Black Business San Antonio actually gets businesses ready to do business with everyone else. So this is 2 parts. First, let me put my plug. If you need to do business with Black businesses, Black veteran-owned businesses, please do business with us because we connect. We get them ready to do business with you. So that way we're making sure the numbers and the equality is there. But second of all, I need people to understand that the agencies that you guys use to disperse money are not always fair to the Black community. You hear this a lot. I'm here to give you the truth because I'm there every day and I've been a victim of it as well. The things that we have to show is more. The proof that we have to give is more. The hoops and battles and things that I've had to do, things that I know my counterparts have not had to do. I've done the research. That's why I know. So my question and my concern and my plead to the people who are out there that have these agencies to stop doing us like that. Point blank. I'm going to be very honest and open and transparent. We notice it. We're tired of it. And we want to be treated equally as well when it comes to opportunities with funding. If we don't have our stuff together, that's different. But Black Business San Antonio is here to make sure that every person that comes in front of you does have their stuff together. So if your problem is that your percentages are low, you can't find the African Americans out there then you're looking in the wrong place. I'm the right place because I represent thousands of Black, not just business owners, but Black veteran business owners that are out here looking and working for the chance to do business with you and continue to get told no. So we have to address that aspect. I've heard all of the great, this is what they're missing. And that's why Black Business San Antonio was founded. We were founded to make sure that every little piece that those people were missing before, they're not missing today. So please talk to me and let's get over the hump of finding that our percentages when doing work with Black businesses is below 10, below 5, below 3, because we can't connect.
At the federal level, that problem has been addressed and is still being addressed. At the federal level, that problem is not just African Americans, it's what we call the underserved community. So women have faced the same problems with access to capital.
No, absolutely.
Veterans face the same problem with access to capital, and other Indians or Native Americans face the same problem. And so at the federal level, what's happened, that's the reason why CDCs and CDFIs exist. That was the whole reason that they were created,
Right.
because of the challenges with access to capital. So what happens is folks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo and the large banks, they give money to these CDCs and say to the CDCs, we want you to pass this money on to those underserved communities. Let me finish answering your making that comment for you, so forth. So connect with your CDCs and CDFIs, and you can find them at SBA.gov. And at SBA.gov, they have a lender match tool. And in the lender match tool, you just create a profile describing what your business is and what your needs are. And you'll get a list within 48 hours of financial institutions that are willing to have a conversation with you. So that's one. The second thing is the Biden administration. I'm not a politician. I'm just sharing with you right here. But the Biden administration created what's called the Community Navigator Program. And the whole purpose of the Community Navigator Program was to ease the access to capital to all of the underserved communities. And so my office has a Community Navigator Program, and we're responsible for the entire state of Texas and so forth. And there are community navigators everywhere that PeopleFund, I think, is part of a community navigator. I think so. But in a sense, the Community Navigator's whole purpose is to reach out to underserved communities, African American, women, so on and so forth, veterans, and bring them in and connect them to the capital partners who are providing capital for them. I think PeopleFund just finished what they call, forgive me if I say it wrong, but it's the BIPOC or BIPOC or something like that.
Accelerator?
Yeah, the BIPOC Accelerator, which is, go ahead and tell your own story.
So can I just say, my thing to you is, we are connected to the CDCs, and that's my problem.
Okay.
Because they are not properly distributing. We are also in a minority-majority city. San Antonio is a minority city, but is the majority. So even though you use that term of underserved, there still has a black underserved that still continues to be underserved. So I understand all of that. I just need you to look further than that and understand the real issue that's going on in our community.
Thank you. Did you want to tell them what the BIPOC was?
Sure. So it happens every quarter. You have to apply. You can go to our website and it gives you more information as to guidelines and what we go off of. But essentially, it's a 6 to 8 week course. And throughout these weeks, every week we have a different session. So one will be marketing, one will tell you how to build your digital platform, one will be about business plans. And then at the very end, if you graduate from that program, you get a 10% grant in addition to the loan that you're requesting. So it's a really great program.
My name is Denise Melly, and I own Noni's Natural Soaps. It's a home-based business. I do the market events, and I live in an underserved community. The reason I got there is because of a natural disaster. So anyway, I'm trying to get out of it and look for like gateway programs or anything out of that, from an underserved community to being a homeowner, a business owner. I'm a business owner since 2018. I applied for the lender match, but I'm not getting any that are doing the Community Advantage program. So can you tell me how I would find those that are doing the Community Advantage program? Maybe, and if there's anyone here today, but you've really got, I know who's going to answer me. You're just amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're amazing. But, and thank you for all this knowledge. I've been taking notes like crazy. Success is my only option, period. And I'm unstoppable. But unfortunately, I had a little delay, a little yield after having a heart attack. I was out 3.5 months. And yes, I worked 2 days after having a heart attack and did the market. And then I went to the hospital after that. So I am unstoppable and I am determined, but I need some help getting there. So I don't know if it's a loan, what it is, but whatever it is, I'm fully capable. I'm fully into investing in me. I believe in me. So maybe somebody else here today does too. I don't know, but I don't know what to do next, but I know I need some funding because of after the heart attack. So to keep it going.
So on your specific question regarding Community Advantage, I've got good news and bad news.
Okay.
All right. So the bad news is the Community Advantage program was sunsetted in September 2023. So it just now shut down the Community Advantage program. But
It just started
it was
up.
grandfathered
Yeah,
So
okay.
so it's now been picked up by Congress to be a full program because it was a pilot program.
Right.
It's no longer a pilot program, it's a full program, so they're available. And you can find them. There's actually a list of the community advantage lenders on the SBA website. So if you just type in community advantage in the search box on the SBA website, it'll take you to the page that I just mentioned. It tells you that it's sunset, and there's a link on that page that you can click on. That page was designed for lenders, not for borrowers.
Yes,
It was
yes,
designed
okay, I
for
can see that.
lenders
I can see that, yeah.
for lenders to apply to become community advantage lenders, but it also links you to access to those that are already lenders.
So we've ran out of time, but I have a booth. I believe some of y'all have a booth set up. If y'all have any questions after the fact, please come and see us. And thank you to the panelists.
One more time, let's give a big hand for our moderator and our panelists. Thank you so much.